Yo, what's good? This is another one, another episode of Opposite from the Norm 18. H, can you mute your rain in the background? Thank you. This is another one. This dope show, man. We got three good bullet point topics, subjects, whatever you want to call it, that we're about to go in on. Before we get started, make sure you smash that like button. Uh, I almost said the A word. I ain't gonna say that. Make sure you share. Definitely make sure you comment and definitely make sure you subscribe. This your boy JTL, and of course I got my boy HD on here.
What up, what up, what up? Sorry if y'all be hearing some weather in the background, but we having tropical storm like weather going on, so you just gonna have to bear with us on this end.
Yeah, y'all gonna be all right, man. Y'all gonna be so focused on this real shit we talking about. Y'all ain't gonna even worry about all that shit. But we got three great topics for y'all. I'm gonna let my boy HD start it off. We're gonna start a little heavy, man. So y'all bear with us, but it's some
Let
real
me,
shit.
well, hold on. Why don't you just speak for just a few minutes so I can pull up the entire article? Because I don't want to get anything wrong in speaking on this. I don't want to get anything incorrect because this is dealing with someone's life and someone losing a life. So I don't want to misspeak or say the wrong thing. So just bear with me for a minute. My man JTL just spit a little something something until I get this article pulled up.
All right, so like I was saying, we got three subjects. They some real shit, and the first one's gonna be pretty heavy. The second one is it's still like logically heavy. You know what I'm saying? Things that we got to think about. The other one is gonna be emotionally pretty much heavy. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like that's that. But I still feel like this gonna be a dope ass show for y'all. You know what I'm saying? Just like my boy Low Key be saying over there. You know what I'm saying? The realest shit on the internet. That's why we formed like motherfucking Voltron on this shit. Got my boy HD. You know what I'm saying? We gotta definitely, you know what I'm saying, kick y'all in the ass with all of this shit. Because it's been so much stuff going on lately, man. It's so difficult to dissect everything within one show. So we gotta definitely keep giving y'all multiple shows. Matter of fact, while I got this time to talk. Make sure y'all be checking out Get Your Mind Right Mondays. It's gonna be another show that I got, you know what I'm saying, I'm doing on Mondays, along with the Poly Talk on Wednesdays. And then of course, my boy HD got the Financial Fridays. We gotta get that back on track, bring that back to y'all. And then my boy HD gonna get back on track with doing the sports wrap up for the week. So y'all know what it is, man. We got the Bucks. Bucks going to the Super Bowl, man, with old man
Boy.
Brady. Man, hey, you ain't supposed to be talking. You supposed to be searching.
Oh,
All right.
I got it right here. That's why I
All
said old
right. Well,
man,
then,
because I
just,
had to cut you off.
well, you gonna get up off my butts right now. So let's get the show started, man. All right, y'all. My
All
boy
right.
HD.
So this is definitely a sad story, but I wanted to bring it up to speak on just the topic of one of the things that me and my partner speak on all the time about black unity, about us trying to come together. It sounds old, it sounds cliche, but it just sometimes it really hits you when you see certain stories and you see certain things that go on in the black community because once again it sounds cliche, but we have so many people coming down on us, especially white people, and we're just helping by killing each other. So this story is out of Texas. Um, it's a father who was fatally shot dead because he was trying to confront his daughter's bully. His daughter was being cyberbullied online, and do you think it's cool for us to say names, or should we leave names out? Because I don't know. Some people look at that as disrespect. What you think?
Well, I mean, we sharing if you sharing the article and the name's already out there, then I don't,
Okay, yeah, yeah. I mean, you can find
yeah.
this article. You can find it on FoxNews.com. You can find it on ThePeople.com, New York Post, uh, DailyMail.com, ABC 13, The Sun, CBS News. It's all over. It's been all over, and this happened last week. But the gentleman's name is Brandon Curtis. He was 35 years old, out of Houston, Texas. His daughter is 15 years old. It says here that the boy had been sending his daughter messages for 9 months. So this is something that had been going on and on and on. It also says that Curtis had spoken to the boy's father before. So this wasn't the first time that the man went to go to try to resolve, this issue that's been going on, you know. Um, but he went over again to the home. Apparently, uh, and this is from what the uh, the young man who did the shooting, because there was two young men at the house, and from what the story says, apparently the parents weren't there, which is a strong issue, of conversation when it comes to this. But the 20-year-old man shot Mr. Curtis, and he said that he shot him because he said that the gentleman was putting his hands on the teenage boy. And the story just jumped out to me because, number one, we know what it's like now in this computer age with the internet, with people sending threats, as they call it, cyberbullying and things of that nature going on. And for this man to die when he was just, trying to defend his daughter, from being bullied. And then I actually watched the video, and the mother of the daughter was on there speaking about her husband who got killed, and she was, reciting some of the things that was on those messages. They were really, really bad, and really threatening remarks, calling her a bitch and talking about her parents, talking about her mother. He's saying he was going to kill her. So these are some things that would really upset you if you are a father and you see that your daughter is receiving these type of messages, from a young boy. And the thing about it is that we don't really know the exacts of the whole situation. We don't know if Mr. Curtis was in fact putting his hands on this young boy and that the 20-year-old was just, as he said, self-defense, or if it was just words being exchanged, and tempers got too heated. you know who knows? But all I know is that there's a 35-year-old man that's dead. 35 is still young, and now this young girl has no father. This woman has no husband. uh, the gentleman's sister was on the news. His mother was on the news. So this is just a crushing blow to the entire family. And once again, it's blacks killing blacks, and that's why I wanted to bring this up. And there's a lot of ways you can go on this. Like I said, I was reading some comments from, some people. Some people were saying, he should have never went there. He should have just told his daughter to just log off and block the boy from online. You know, he should have not been there. He should have came back when the parents was there. It's all type of things that, are being said. Um, this I'm reading here a gentleman named Jay Richardson, who it says he's an adult who lives at the location. I guess Richardson is the person, um, it says he saw Curtis hitting his juvenile brother. He pulled out a pistol and shot the man in self-defense of his brother. You know, that's what it was saying that went on. So this is just a sad story, and I just really wish that there was something else. You can go ahead and give your opinion on this, Jay.
Yeah, you can hear me, right? Hello?
And I also um, wanted to add that it says that, and this is from another article from LMT Online. Uh, it's saying that he took the daughter over to the residence as well. So maybe even the daughter was there. This is just a crazy situation.
Yeah, and you said it was Texas, right? Hello?
This happened in Texas.
All right. See, and you know me and you kind of had a prep talk on this the other day, and this is my thing, to be honest with you. For a lot of people that said they shouldn't have went, I kind of agree with them. Reason being is because, especially if the parents wasn't there, you definitely shouldn't have been there. You know what I'm saying? Um, Teenage boy and a young man who just left his teens at 19 to turning 20, that can definitely turn bad. You know, especially in this day and age where we got more so than back then, where parents are not really around in those situations with their kids like they should be. You know what I mean? So unfortunately, within that situation, sometimes we gotta be smart. And what I'm so tired of is people making it seem like you a coward or you a punk if you decide to use the law instead. If you not, because we got to think about this, just like we say when it comes with our own people, it's a lose-lose situation. If you think you can operate outside of the law and you in a different country, you have no sovereignty, no nothing, no respect of your life or no respect of your credentials. We see videos all the time where even our own people get harassed, whether they're a DA or they a judge, a lawyer, a police officer, they self get mistreated by the system. So to think, oh, I'm such a badass, but then when the police come around, you turn into a little, excuse my language, a bitch.
Yo, hold on. See, this is even worse. And I'm sorry, I should have brought this information earlier, but
Uh-huh.
in just further reading this now, and this is where things get muddy. On a couple different articles that I'm reading from a couple different, major news outlets, you know, it's saying that he took the daughter over there, and it said when you say he took the daughter over there, that's a whole nother part of the issue because the daughter was there, which means that she saw all this happen.
Uh-huh.
So that just, brings another element to the story of her being there when this happened. And it said that the Harris County Sheriff, Ed Gonzalez, he's the one who was reporting of the Richardson, the 20-year-old. It's saying here that he took his daughter over to the boys' home to fight other teens. If that's true, you know what I'm saying? Like you can't be taking your daughter over there to fight somebody. We don't know for
Really?
sure if that's the truth. I'm just reading from the article that he went over there to start some, not start. Excuse me. I don't want to say that. Not to start something, but to, I don't know, settle the score or whatever. Like if he went over there with the intent of talking, that's one thing. But if you went over there with the intent, like, yo, we gonna fight, that's a whole nother thing. And
But
then it's
but see,
saying that the 20-year-old said that Mr. Curtis hit his teen brother outside the home. He's saying that he saw Mr. Curtis hit his brother. And it said that's when the man went to go get his gun and protect the brother and shot Mr. Curtis. Now, here's the last little piece of the puzzle. Miss Harris, which is his wife, who's left behind, she said that the daughter received a message after the shooting that read, "We all had a fight and killed their daddy." See, that right there, that just adds even more, disturbingness to the issue. You know,
Right.
sending a message like that, saying, "Oh, we killed their daddy." I don't, you know, it's just sick, man. I didn't
Yeah.
mean to
So
cut you off, but I just had to add that little bit more to the story.
right. So, but like I was saying, the sad thing about it is we keep thinking best thing to do is show I'm a man, I'm a this, I'm a that. But if you're not operating within the law for more of your own protection, we know a lot of us don't get done the right way regardless. But at the same time, you just don't want that narrative out there that you didn't do what you should have done in the first place. So when I'm hearing other people say, he shouldn't have went over there, or if he seen the parents wasn't there, he should have left. That should have been what happened. We still have to wait to see all what comes out of the story. But at the same time, this is something that is a learning and teaching lesson for everybody. Yo, you upset about something? Don't try to go rush head first and try to take care of something when you know you upset about something. Sometimes you need that woosah moment just to relax and just chill out. Over a situation like that, you can report it to the police. My thing is, have they ever reported it to the school? Like these are the things that needs to
That's
start done, huh?
that's what I was thinking because I'm the reason why I kept going looking at different articles was I was trying to see if that has been said anywhere, like if they had reported this to the police or reported it to the school or whatever. Because my thing is, I've learned a little bit because, you know, I've been a little bit of a hothead in my prior days and I'm trying to get better. I still can be a bit of a hothead and I'm trying to improve that, you know. I'm trying to improve my way of thinking, like you just said, instead of every time I get mad, me saying, "Oh, I'm gonna go reach for my pistol." You know, I can't have that way of thinking, and you have to think of alternative routes to go. And like you just said, the reporting it. If you got messages over 9 months, you got text messages, or if they're uh, being sent on Instagram, Facebook, whatever, Twitter, whatever you using, you can keep all those things and you can have, a long ass history of like, look, this person been saying all this shit to my daughter for the past 9 months. Y'all gonna do something? You know what I'm saying? Reporting it to, like you said, either the school or to the police to see, what's gonna happen because the messages are threatening. I'm gonna get you. Yeah, I'm coming for you. All those are threats, and I do understand that you want to protect your seeds and all that, but this man is gone now. He's no longer here, so we got to be thinking about different ways we can go before we lose somebody.
Oh yeah, for real. So that's what I'm saying. I worked with youth for years and having to deal with some of these things. And sadly enough, you don't have parents acting like parents all the time, which shows you a lot of people's mindsets where you would think that they're older, they should be smarter, or you will see people who you can tell when they had kids, that's where they mental growth has stopped. Like not even trying to be funny, but that's how it is a lot of times. So when you see people, oh, adults should be this, adults should be that, or we should trust that they're whatever. That's when you start finding a lot of times why people certain laws are into place because you got people that are just idiots. It's more likely that a person is going to be an idiot than be smart. You know what I'm saying? So in this situation, that's what we have to think about. Because I like when my son was young, there was a situation that happened around him. Instead of me jumping up trying to jump back and go do something stupid, I thought about it and try to figure out the best way to deal with it and just taking my son out of the situation so I didn't get mad and go do something stupid because especially as a young black man, a young brother, it could have turned out bad for me. You know what I'm saying? So I had to be smart about what I was doing. I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna try to be smart. Let me go report the situation the best way I need to do within the school because it was a situation that happened at a school when his school when he was like in I think it was kindergarten or first grade. I think it was kindergarten. So I try to do it the best right way instead of just being the angry black man coming up to ready to wreak havoc. And so then when it comes with students, when he got a little older, some other stupid shit, some stupid shit happened with one of his friends, and I talked with a parent. It was handled. It was something stupid. You know what I'm saying? But instead of it would have been even dumber on my part if I would have ran to go try to beat up the kid instead of talking to his parent. Especially since my son and that kid, there was little friends within our program. So it would have been stupid for me to do that. It happens. Me and my friends fight all the time. Me and HD fight all the damn time too. So shit happens. But it's just how you handle it as an adult. And I ain't gonna front. It pisses me off that when shit like this happen, then oh man, that shouldn't. Oh, that shouldn't. No, we need to start regulating how we talk to each other from here on out. We don't need too many more lessons and stories happening of why we should regulate something now. We need to stop. You know what I'm saying? If you see somebody be like, hey, no, we ain't gonna do that. Commend them for that. You see somebody trying to grow, commend them for it. You see somebody trying to start some shit, hey, brother, hey, sister, no, that's not what we doing here. That's not right. You stand on the side of what's right, righteousness, and truth. You don't go with the BS because now this brother is gone. Now, from what you're saying, it's a possibility both ways that the Father God rest his soul may have not done what he should have done on his end, and maybe he may have been hard headed, bullheaded, and just rushed into the situation. He may have, but it's not a good thing. So it's the only thing you can learn from it because somebody else is gone. And be real with you, it just needs to stop. It needs to slow down, man. Go
It's
ahead,
just
AC.
sad, and I just don't. Um, honestly, I just don't know how to think because as I was saying with the temper and everything, it's kind of like people are more so inclined to grab a gun nowadays than ever before, and with that gentleman, it's very tough for me to speak on him. Number one, because he's no longer here, and number two, I don't want to be one of those people that is gonna be like trying to be in that man's head or his shoes because yeah, what we're saying is true, but I don't want to go too deep into it because you know maybe at that time that man just lost it. Maybe he just you know he just lost. Some hit him. Some really hit him on in his heart or in his head, but it's kind of like we ain't never gonna know the real truth of what really happened because he's not here to tell his side of the story. And I just wish in that situation, him dealing with two younger kids, the young boy, I'm assuming was like 15, 16, 17, and then the other gentleman that shot him was only 20. You 35, you got 15 years on him and more years on the other gentleman. I just wish that he could have handled it in a different way. And if it is true that he did put hands on the younger boy, the 15, 16, 17-year old, that's a whole nother story because it's like, you can't really be that much older jumping on a little boy like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we may see a situation where a boy's 16 and he taller than somebody, or more muscular. Okay, that's well and good, but you still got 15 years of living on this person. You still got 15 years, hopefully, of knowledge on this person. And 15 years is a lot of years of living and experience that you have over somebody. And you would just hope that you would be using that 15 plus years of knowledge that you have to handle that situation better so that he won't be here because it wasn't just that little girl that lost a father. He's a father of five, so it's not five kids out there who don't got a father anymore. And it's just sad. And hopefully I'm hoping, like you said, something can be learned from this situation, and also for us to be learned that We don't need to keep seeing this kind of situation happen. We need to really learn from this shit and get better, get better all the way around because this whole family is gone. It has lost somebody, and it's just sad all over some words online, all over some words online. I'm not sure. Once again, we don't know if the young man has ever touched the daughter or whatever, but the whole story is circling around cyberbullying and words. And these words led to this man dying. And I think that we just need to be better than this. We need to be much, much better than this, especially in this day and time where you have so many different outlets, online to talk to somebody, to get counseling, to whatever, meditate, just all that shit. And this may sound corny, like I said, but yo, this man is dead, 35 years old, never coming back. And I just feel like we need to do a better way of trying to resolve issues when we have beef with another man or another woman over some words. So that's all I got to say on that one.
Yeah, I guess like I said, the saddest part that is always you know, it's always something where you think people get it, but then they don't. They go back to their regular lives. We don't realize there's certain ways you try to maneuver and really, really press that in your own mindset of how do I change what I've been doing or change the stuff that's around me. And it's plenty of ways. It's just being disciplined to do as such. You know what I'm saying? With change the things around you, with things that you see. You know what I'm saying? Versus keep doing the same thing, talking about it, seeing sad situations or seeing situations that should motivate you. With that being said, we're gonna transition into our second point. Master P and his point on our own people in our community, whether they literally right next door or we're just related in our melanin wise. So, Ace, did you have any article or anything on the Master P thing, or you know what I'm saying? Before we
I
dive
mean,
into it, do you want to just set it up for us to dive into it?
yeah, I mean, it's all over the place. You can see it. You can go to YouTube and pull it up. It's basically, to sum it all up, Master P was talking about all the money that app, Clubhouse is making. Um, the headline of the article was just saying, we made another one of them being white people, a billionaire. And he was just speaking on, how we just keep on pushing all these millions and then turning to billions of dollars for them. Yet we want to be, I'm gonna just say it. We want to over here be crying and whining about shit for us in the black community when we ain't supporting our shit. And Master P made a good fucking point. He said if one of us did that, we would be saying, nah, I don't think that's gonna work. Why would you call it Clubhouse? It's not really a club. He said that to make the point of that's what happens when it's something that a black person or a black woman creates. We always got to have an excuse. We want to put it down. We want to make jokes. We want to make fun of it. When Master P came out with his chips, motherfuckers like, oh, I won't eat them nasty shits. What the fuck I want some chips from Master P for? Who he think he is making some chips? Them shits probably gonna be nasty anyway. I like Doritos. Then when he was, trying to make other food items, fuck I want to buy something from Master P for? And it's not just. And then I read, ignorant people saying, "Oh, he Master P just mad. He just mad. He just hating." And it's like, yo, shut shut your ignorant ass up because the motherfuckers who typing that in want to be saying that this man is hating when this man has far more money than you will ever see in your fucking life. These ignorant people who are saying this stuff about him. He's a businessman that made it on his own. He didn't wait around for some white person to give him a handout. He made his fortune on his own, and he helped a lot of black people. When Master P started No Limit, he was putting all these brothers and sisters on, giving them record deals, helping them put albums out, putting money in their pocket, buying them homes, cars, whatever the case may be. And even if he didn't buy somebody a home and a car, he provided them with an opportunity to sign to his label, put music out, and put money in their pockets and their family pocket. And this man is making the point of every time these white people put something out, we want to run and flock to it like it's the greatest fucking thing since sliced bread, be defending it to the utmost, and all we doing is making them, these people who don't like us, who don't give a fuck about us, making them billionaires, and we as black people, we still searching and scrounging for something that we can call ours, something that we can say we own, something that we can say we have. And when we do, we let it flounder. We let it fall off. We even with the clothing brands going, looking at FUBU, how that was out there, and then poof, within some years, it's gone, fell off the map.
Wait,
People
wait,
think
hold
it.
on, hold on. I gotta stop you right there. I gotta stop you right there, real quick. Let me give two examples on that, real quick, to add to that point before we move on. All right, with the FUBU thing you just said, I'm glad you said that, so I can give you a perfect example of what we have to do. And like they tell the story, a prophet is never even appreciated in his own city, because with the FUBU situation, guess what they had to do? They had to focus more on their selling abilities and marketing capabilities and income across seas. Because over here FUBU was fucked up, but across seas they would still get money, especially with them owning the Coogee brand. So they had to go outside to do their own thing. And then that's where you get, remember, when I did that one video talking about Dapper Dan, where he was like, I ain't worried about, basically, I ain't worried about money from niggas. That's what we do to each other. You make us be like, fuck these niggas. Bottom line. And then with Master P, excuse me, on his situation, what's sad, another thing we do to each other, right? If y'all want to go see it, y'all can go watch the No Limit Chronicles by BT. It's on YouTube. You can watch all the episodes basically right now. In the beginning, it was one of the brothers. They was telling stories about how him and P started from Richmond, trying to start No Limit. Okay, he was like, "We gonna hold fast. We gonna do our thing. We ain't playing no games." And I forget what label was started. I think it was before Priority. So one of his homies that he started with, No Limit with, they show him talking about, "Oh, Master P turned his back on me." It's like, after all these years and we supposed to be homies, how can he do me like that? That's how I felt. But Master P, right before they showed that, was saying how the motherfucker tried to go behind Master P back and get a deal with the label instead of staying with No Limit to stay independent. So you mean to tell me that we not only shit on ourselves, we'll cutthroat each other, and then say a nigga wrong for saying, "Hey, it's all good, man. I ain't mad at you, you know what I'm saying? But you might want to stay over there because you can't come back with No Limit doing that type of stuff. We got to have loyalty and be down with each other. That's what I'm trying to build." So, but it's all good. I got love for you still, but you got to be over there. How could he do me like that? Hold on. You drew blood first, nigga. The man said, "Hey, we gonna keep No Limit moving, and we gonna leave this record label, and we gonna keep No Limit moving. We an army over here. We good." He tell the label that, then you go behind P back and try to get a deal with him, and then he tell you, "Well, it's all good. I ain't mad at you, but you ain't part of No Limit because you just showed your hand." We do that to each other too. A motherfucker could rob your house. You find out, and instead of you even pressing charges with the police or trying to kill this nigga, you just say, "We don't. I don't fuck with you no more. I can't even speak to you no more." And then you be like, "How could you do me like this after all the years we know?" Motherfucker, you try to rob my house, I can call the police or I can kill you. Which one you want? My bad, H. Go ahead. I just had to throw that in there real quick. Go ahead and finish up what you were saying.
No, you made a great point about what they had to do, and I'm just speaking from the standpoint of the other side of that, where when black people have something, we start, you hear it. People start making fun of it. People start saying it's ugly. People start saying it's whack. People start saying, "Oh, this is just nigga shit." And it's like, do we do that to the white labels? Like all this shit we flock out, Nautica and Polo and Lacoste, all that shit. Y'all act like everything that Polo puts out looks great. It's a lot of Polo shit that I see that's butt fucking ugly. That's so ugly I wouldn't even go cut my grass if I had grass to cut in that shit, you know. But if a black company comes out with something, we will trash it, we will put it down, we will stop wearing it. If we see other people wearing it, we make fun of them and pick on them to the point where they're gonna stop wearing it, and that just starts that downward spiral. But when it's the white people, we don't do that to them. We do that to each other, but we don't do that to them. And just like, P was saying in this day, he was like, these people, the white, they're gonna take Clubhouse and they're gonna go public. That's how you build the wealth. We got to make our company successful so we can take these companies public so we can create wealth from them. But we don't never do that because we always want to make fun of each other. We always want to put each other down and not support each other. It's not just clothing, it's just anything. It could be a black woman that started her own lotion company, and we always gonna criticize it. We gonna say something bad. We gonna put it down. We gonna say who the fuck she thinks she is. So, oh, she overweight. Why overweight bitch trying to sell me some lotion? Or she too skinny. She's skinny and ashy. Why she trying to sell me some lotion? But let a white person come out with some lotion. Huh, Bath and Body Works. What do women do? Run the Bath and Body Works. They can't live without it. And it's like, oh, well, we'll say, oh, well, black people need to put out good products. How the fuck will you know if the product is good if you won't even fucking try it?
If you
Okay,
won't even
you
fuck with it in the first
you
place.
exactly. We can okay. You can sit here and say, oh, I know Bath and Body Works is good because my whole bathroom got Bath and Body Works in it. Yes, bitch. But when the company first started, how did you know it was good? You had to go
Mm.
try it, you stupid fuck. Or someone at work or a family member was like, hey girl, I tried this new Bath and Body Works shit. It smell good. All right. But how'd you get that recommendation from your sister? Because she went to try it. And we won't even try this stuff. We'll just look at it and be like, I ain't doing that. And then we'll make excuses. I hear it all the time. Well, they don't sell that in stores. Okay, go online. You'll go online to write a nasty Facebook comment about somebody. You'll go online to put a twerking video out, the bust it up challenge or whatever the fuck this shit's called. You'll do that. But you won't go on,
Bust it.
huh?
Just take the UP off. Just take the up off. It's busted.
Whatever. Fuck these bitches. Whatever. Bust it up, bust it down, whatever. You'll do that, but you won't take 5 or 10 minutes to say, oh, okay, this young man selling some deodorant, black owned. He trying to be on the come up. He from wherever he from, Alabama, whatever. Let me go online. Let me spend $10 with him. That take 10 minutes or less, maybe not even 10, just 5 minutes to try it. How do you know if it's good or not? It could be the best deodorant you ever fucking tried in your life, but you won't even give it a chance. And that's what Master P was talking about. We continue to make them rich, and we never want to put money back into us, but we want to whine and cry about, oh, they got this, they got that. Yes, they keep us down. Yes, they turn us away from giving us jobs when we go in for job interviews because of the color of our skin. But guess what? We also give them so much fucking money. Why can't we have a real Black Friday? As in, whatever
Mm.
that date is, the date after Thanksgiving, all the black people in the nation,
26.
26, all the black people in the nation only spend money on black owned businesses. Do you know what
Mm.
that would do? Do you know what that would do for us and what it would do to them? It would start crippling they shit because they need our money, they need our dollars to stay afloat. So if we start taking it from them, then we gonna really show the power we got. That's another thing behind this little diatribe I'm going on. We got so much motherfucking power and we don't even fucking know it. Just imagine if all black people for one calendar year, for 12 months, no black people across the nation bought no Nikes. You know what that would do to that company? You know what that would fucking do if just for 12 months we just all said we ain't buying no Nikes, no Nike shoes, socks, drawers, shirts, t-shirts, shorts, nothing. And we put all of that money into black owned businesses. What that would do. We got so much fucking power and we don't even know it. And a man like Master P, who's a successful businessman, he's not just some nigga off the street who work at the corner store just running his mouth. This is a man who built an empire, still has an empire, telling us what we need to do, yet we want to talk bad about him and put him down. That's the stuff that angers me. Go ahead.
And you know what? What's so crazy? Like the brother Tone talks, because remember I told you I seen what he was saying. He was just going in and messing in Baron Davis. But then I thought about it. Like he don't, as smart as that brother supposed to be, he don't realize the stupid shit he was doing and saying and contradicting himself and being a hypocrite himself, right? Just like you said, Master P has done X, Y, Z for the last 30 years. So you mean to tell me you think that somebody's worth almost $500 million would be too stupid that when they go to buy the Reebok deal to not buy the licensing with it? A person who's independently owned, who owns all his own shit, you think he would be too stupid to go and do a motherfucking license deal to buy the ownership of the license of Reebok? And I'm glad you said, because it made me think of that while you was talking. This is another thing we do. This brother is cynical as fuck, and I get that. Remember, I told you that when I was trying to watch him before, sometimes I didn't get where he was coming from, and I was trying to. And then when he said what he said about Nipsey Hussle, it made me dislike him. I ain't fuck with him for about a year after that. But what tripped me out when I try to watch, I'm like, you know what? Let's see what he's talking about, man. Let me get it, out my feelings, and we just talk about what's our issues, because you already know I, I feel the same way about Nip that I do about Pop as young brothers, or which I felt came from that same vein of Malcolm X. Just like I told you, what really, really attracted me to Nipsey Hussle before I really started watching his interviews and listening to his music like that is when this young brother was walking around with that Malcolm X emblem on his chain. I was like, okay, now I need to pay attention to this young brother. I know I need to. So I feel that same way about him. But then when he said what he said about P, and I got the utmost respect for brothers like Master P and Dame Dash. Even though Dame Dash, we know that nigga shoot himself in the foot, he chew his foot, he throw his foot, he cut his foot off, put it back on, and we know that. But I still got the utmost and love and respect for that brother because he ain't afraid to go out there and go hard and represent. So when I'm seeing the brother Tone Talk saying what he's saying, and then, like I said, now you said what you said, it made me think, like, he talking about us and what we need to do, but you chopping him down just like everybody else do in public. Instead of trying to reach out to Master P, or he may feel like Master P won't even respect him to even come back and talk to him, so he trolling him. We do that too and try to make it seem like since we're doing it in an educated way, it's okay to do it that way, but it's still fucking trolling, right? So he going in on Master P, and then you saying you don't think he would be he's going to buy the licensing for the Reebok, the making of the Reebok, and it's like, bro, the man worth almost $500 million. Do you think the same dude that been talking about independence since we first started hearing about Master P is not gonna be smart enough to say, if I'm gonna buy this company, I want to make sure I buy everything I need to buy of this company so I can truly own it? Like, think about what you're saying. Like, we made everything so fucking hot. Like, we didn't realize how much power we had until white people told us. Y'all can go on YouTube and y'all can look and see when they talking about how to market to black people. Now think about it. Why would you give a fuck to market them to apes and monkeys if there was no importance in black people and us having our own money? Because at this time when they made that video, you come to find out before that, back in, I want to say around up until the 30s maybe, our average black families was actually doing more than the average white family, which is what they hide from you. I'm sorry about all this rain, y'all. My bad. It was doing all right, then it just started picking back up on some bullshit. I'm trying to smoke some, but that's a little bit better, probably. But We didn't know our own money and spending capabilities until white folks told us that. So you got somebody like P trying to do the best that he can and do something and give back, but having to go through the same scrutiny and being put down the way we do each other, even though Master P has done all these tremendous things and people still hate on him talking about don't nobody want them nasty ass pancakes. Don't nobody want them nasty ass potato chips. It's the same shit that we do to each other all the fucking time. And it's like it don't matter where you get at in life, it's always the same shit that we do to each other. And it's like what does it stop? What does it end begin? Or do you have to turn around and say, you know what, I'm about to turn my back on my people for a little while till I get where I want to be at in life?
And speaking of that, we had to make, unfortunately, we had to stoop down to this level. Speaking of apes and monkeys, we had a fat, ugly, stinking ape monkey motherfucker coming at us about something that we doing, which is Financial Fridays, which is trying to enlighten our people about money. So that just goes to show you how your own people can kind of try and jump on you about something that you're trying to do in a positive light. Speaking to each other as people about finances is things that they don't want us to do. They want us to remain ignorant. They want us to um, not have information. For example, one of my cousins, one of my dear cousins who lives in Atlanta, texts me about going on Robinhood. For people who don't know, Robinhood is dealing with stocks. It's an app that you can put on your phone, iPad, whatever. You can watch your stocks. You can invest in stocks. You can pull stocks. You can do whatever. He was like, "Yo, hop on this stock because it's low right now, but in a couple of days it's gonna go up through the roof." You know, we need to do stuff like that as Black people. We need to be texting each other about, yo, invest in this stock. Yo, I heard this is gonna go up in a couple of days. Instead of us texting each other about the yeah, I'm going to the club, or I'm trying to buy this gold chain, or yeah, I'm gonna go cop these shoes, these $2,000 Gucci shoes. Like, we need to be schooling each other on things like that, things that white people are born with. There are white people that are born with, and by the time they're 5 years old, their parents have already given them over $10,000 worth of stocks in their name already at 5 years old. While there's some of us who are in our 30s and 40s who don't even know anything about stocks, who don't know how to invest, who don't even know where to start to go to get and buy a stock if they got money. They don't know anything about that. And that's why my man JTL came up with the brilliant idea to do Financial Friday. And that's something that I'm going to continue to do because it's not just helpful to other people, it's helpful to myself. And that's what we need to do. Instead of putting each other down, we need to be helping each other out. If we see somebody that doesn't have knowledge about finances, help them out. Because that could be something that they can help themselves with, they can help their family, they can help somebody they at work that don't know about this stuff. We can all help each other. And that's part of the core of what Master P is saying. Like, we need to bring us up. We need to stop waiting around for some magical star to drop from the sky or something. And we need to do it ourselves because we got the capability. We got the brains, we got the ideas, we got the style, we got all that. We just don't support each other. And the only way that we're going to ever make it somewhere is if we support each other because we know goddamn well that they're not going to support us to the point that we're going to jump through the roof. We're going to have to be the ones because we're the ones that help them to jump through the roof. Once again, if we start putting our dollars into Nike and Gucci and all these other things, where are they gonna go? They're gonna squander. They're gonna go. They're gonna. It's gonna. Everything is gonna drop because we're taking our money away. But we need to think of a way to have our own Nike one day, to have our own Gucci one day. We need to find a way to start that so we can have that for ourselves, so that we can pride ourselves on, I got on this whole outfit and these socks and these shoes is from a black woman or from a black man. That's what we need to be able to pride ourselves in the future, to be able to say that when we go out on the town, everything we got from head to toe is from a black owned company. But can we say that right now? No, we can't. And that's what we need to do. Instead of putting each other down and shooting each other in the foot and the back, we need to raise up. So that's what I had to say on the Master P thing.
Yeah, and real quick, I want to say this. You know, all praises to the Most High and His Son Jesus, Yahshua, whatever you want to say. That's what I'm saying. God gave me those ideas on the Financial Friday, the Poly Talk, and I feel those are the two most important parts of what we do on the show because we try to give insight on things that they saying we're missing when it comes to our community. That's economics and political power. That's the two main things we are missing. There's another one, but we're gonna have to get into that another time. Me and my brother HD gonna have to talk about that because that's on something different. But I will say the not to be fucked with, whatever they call that militia, the black militia, that's what the other one is. I'm gonna leave it at that one. But at the same time, with the Master P situation, right? The sad thing about that situation is we keep doing the same thing to each other, then wondering why things ain't gonna change. It's because us as a collective won't do things that change. And the reason why the powers that be are not worried about us is because they know how to play the game. They know how to keep sending certain people at us to make us be worried about the wrong things. And the ignorant person he was talking about was hood conservative, since he wanted us to say his name like he Muhammad Ali, God rest his soul, or somebody. That's who he talking about.
Yeah,
And
motherfuck
instead
hood conservative. I said it. I said it. Fuck that
and
fat
instead
nigga.
and instead of this ignorant person thinking, because that means he's been watching our shit since last March. That's when me and him had that fallout. That was last March, I believe. So it's been about a year now, God willing. And instead of him reaching out and be like, you know what, brother, that shit was stupid. I've been watching your content the whole time. Instead of him trolling and being a grown man, because we all in our 30s and we got to set examples. So this brother said he got a wife and kid. So guess what that means? If your kids are old enough to go on YouTube and see you doing this foolishness with your own people, whether we know each other or not like that, you can't be mad if your kids do something that is disappointing to you. And if he hears this, I hope he does. I want you to think about that. And if he come back and say something ignorant, I'm just gonna shut it down with brilliance and intelligence as a black man, brother. You pitiful and you sad if you didn't hear nothing that me and my partner said. Fuck all the talking shit and all that. Let's really break down some real shit. If you've been watching our channel for the last year since then, and you know what we've been doing, that means you like our content. Because if our content was terrible, you wouldn't be over here watching it. We haven't been paying attention to your content since then because, gonna keep it real, we feel you've been on some foolishness, and that's how you trying to gain your numbers. But respectfully, if that's what you choose to do, that's your business. But don't come at us for trying to do something for our people, and we feeling like the best way to do it is really give some information. And it's more so just then I agree with the other side, and we need to just learn game from them versus giving game to each other. That's what we need to do, and that's what Master P has been doing since he stepped on the scene and really got a platform to really say how he felt since like '96. He's been saying how he felt and being an entrepreneur and being truly independent. That's how we need to start looking at things. Whether you like it or not, this is the reality thing. And this is why I would shout out low key straight to a podcast, John Horst, Block Talk, and Kirk and Booby Hill and everybody over there, Taida and everybody over there, because these are the things that we still talk about on this show. Check out the conspiracy theory shit. If you don't agree with it, that's fine. But for his ownership and trying to come together, we trying over there. We definitely trying over here. And that's what we trying to do is inform our people on stuff that we need. Because the sad truth about it is just like I don't know what to say about CeeLo Green now, but when he was on in due time with Outkast, when he said every morning you wake up, you got to go and try. Can't wait for nobody to come out the sky. That was the really one of the realest shits I've ever heard in my life, and that God will I will always remember. And that's what we got to do. We trying to make things right. So now we're gonna transition to the last part on trying to make things right. When it comes to our relationships and our lives and attacking each other. Now we have entertainment, we have fun, we go a little too hard sometimes, but in reality, what we need to realize when it comes to black love, if we really talking about trying to do something with each other, what we really got to realize is attacking each other instead of hearing what somebody is saying and trying to do better and learn and gain from it, or deciding to leave it alone and stop entertaining it, we're gonna be stuck in the same place between a rock and a hard spot. So for all our listeners and people out there that listen to other relationship channels or ideal about how we should do when it comes to relationships with each other, I want you to think about this. Every time hear sisters complain or we hear brothers complain, it's time to start listening. Now, say if brothers decide like, well, let's listen to more what the sisters got to say. Once the sisters are saying what they are saying, once we give our response, especially if it's on logic, then we have to learn to be quiet and listen back. Don't listen to be responding. Listen to learn something. And if you feel you learned something and logically thought about it before you respond, all right, cool. But try to really think. That's just like when I was going off on the one sister and what she said. She probably younger than us, and I'm sorry, but what she said it really ticked me off because I said something that was logical. She said some guy that was dating this woman that he wanted to marry was dogging her out because he was in debt, and she figured that he was going to be paying. I mean, she was going to be paying for everything if they moved to Arizona because he was in debt and she wasn't. But I said just because the man was in debt doesn't mean that he's dogging her out. She never said once that she's paying for everything. She doesn't have a job. She was able to save up a bunch of money and he was paying off his debt. But they was talking about moving to Arizona and he was going to get the job and she didn't have a job. So it's give and take when it comes to relationships. And I think what's really hurting us so much now is the fact that we feel, oh well, you know, if I'm gonna get with a man, he gotta be bringing this to the table. He gotta have this. Or if I'm gonna get with a woman, she gotta bring this to the table, and she gotta have this. We gotta get back to the old school ways of learning somebody and loving them for who they is. And if we're intrigued by them, attracted to it, and then figuring out how we can give our best. That's just like we did the one show, everybody, where we was talking about submission, and we brought up the fact that the man submits too. If the man, right, I'm not saying man or woman is perfect, but if the man decides that he wants to marry this woman, that is submitting too. That's not just he making that decision and to get married versus staying single and doing whatever he wants. He just got it like that. No, that's still submitting. Because if the marriage go wrong and he do something wrong, guess what? The woman can take him to court. And 10 times out of 9, yeah, I said that 10 times out of 9, the woman is going to win nowadays. Way back in the 50s, yeah, I'm sure before the 60s, before we was getting more equal rights, yeah, men would win. Because women, for the longest, I think all the way up to around the 80s or 70s, had to get permission from their husband and a signature for them to even get a credit card or do anything. That's changed. That's not the same way no more. So we have to think on women's side, if you really want equality, you have to realize you're gonna have to take the bad with the good and the ugly with the beautiful. Men on the same thing. If men want to act like they're gonna be the man, be the man. Be a man and handle your business as well. But that means also don't think every woman you come in contact with just because you got some money, you look good and got some kind of pill or whatever, you supposed to be able to sleep with whatever woman you want and the woman that you got at home, you're just supposed to accept it because you paying all the bills. That's some bullshit. You don't need to do all that either. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, for especially as spiritual black people are, you gotta ask yourself, like they say, what would Jesus do? Is that what God wants from us? That's not. So you got to get out your own selfish ways and stop letting the devil tempt you and slap your head to make you think what you're doing is okay. That is not okay. I know I talk trash. My partner might talk trash, but at the end of the day, it's we do our best to work on being better. So to come at sisters on our end as brothers in a certain way without love, it don't matter if it's tough. It needs to be still love there, so you can mellow it out. At the end of the day, when you're trying to do your best you can, if you're saying you're trying to give knowledge to real sisters, then you have to have love there because you want the best outcome from them, especially if you believe in the Most High. You're not going to treat anybody wrong. You defend yourself, but you don't just be on the offense. If anything, you're on the defense. So when it comes to this whole situation, when I see on YouTube and all this other stuff, it's disheartening and hurtful because when I see women sisters talking with logic, it's very less far in between nowadays. It's very less. But when I hear a lot of sisters just going in and saying a lot of rhetoric and they're not making sense, and then when you try to respond to it, they get mad at you. It doesn't make sense, and vice versa on the other end. You do have sisters out there that are trying to be logical when they ask a brother a question, and I see them going in. And we got to realize on both ends, how does that work to bring us back together? Are we trying to be together or are we not? Because I hear these sisters that's going in, they say they only date black men, but you going in on black men. I hear black men say they only trying to date sisters, but you going in on sisters. So how does us battling each other really help for us to come back together and really do something positive if we can't learn the woo-saw and chill the fuck out? Like H, you talk to that. How do we learn on both ends, if possible, God willing, to learn to take a chill pill so we can learn from each other? And I don't mean a woman saying the best point and a man having to shut up, or the man saying the best point and a woman having to shut up, but us coming to the common denominator, which is us, to figure out how do we come to a positive conclusion.
I feel like it's just like I had said the one day, it pretty much down the line that you're going that it has to be stopping with the finger pointing. A lot of the subjects that we see on these different podcasts, shows, radio shows, whatever, it's always a competition. And I just never knew that a relationship or trying to resolve the relationship that's fractured between black men and black women, it was a competition or a race. We need to stop competing against each other saying, we're better. No, we're better. It's your fault. No, it's your fault. You're the reason we're down. No, you're the reason we're down. Okay, we have everything out there. We have had years and years of us fighting against each other, going at each other, saying that we're going to date a different race so that we don't have to deal with each other. We've said all these things. So we have basically, for lack of better words, put all the chips on the table. All right. So if the thing is, do we want to come together? I hear that so much, but the topics that are always brought up are always why niggas ain't shit, or why bitches ain't shit, or I'm a woman and I don't want to have to carry a man, or why should a man have to carry a woman? The whole part of a relationship is about it being a team, two people coming together as one to reach the final destination goal. So, with that being said, if we're trying to find out why the relationship is so fractured between black men and black women, stop coming up with a million topics downing and going at each other when we need to think of a million ways to come together. That's if you really look at it, if you go online on the internet or you just think of whatever show that you're watching on TV, radio, whatever, it's always a big discussion about who is at fault. Okay, so let's stop trying to figure out so bad who's at fault, who's the bad person. Let's just say we're both good and we're both bad. Case closed. So now let's start coming up with the things to do to fix it. And when we do, it has to be like my man Jay just said. You can't be listening just to respond. You have to be trying to listen to understand and to communicate and to make things right and resolve. Because all we never get to a point of resolving anything. It's always ends with not agreeing or, all right, I'm going to agree to disagree. All right, we can agree to disagree. That's a very mature adult thing to do, but we still got the problem there. When we get up, shake hands, and walk away, we still got an issue. So we ain't resolved the issue. All we doing is like, all right, we'll agree to disagree and we resolve the issue. Where's the issue? Where is it? And then, I even read something that said comprehension is worth more than just communication because we'll say, oh, well, black men and black women, we communicating. All right, we communicating, but we're not comprehending We're not comprehending anything because we're still not getting a resolution. And with as smart and educated as we are as brothers and as sisters on both ends, both of us are out there getting educations. We're both out there getting jobs. We're both out there working hard, trying to pay bills, raise our families, look good and all that. If we can do all that, there has to be a way that we can come to some answers. There has to be a way that we can resolve things and stop putting money so much at the forefront as well. Money is always shoved. Why do I, as a black woman, got to take care of black man, or vice versa? Or why I got to pay this? Why he can't pay this? Why she can't pay this? Why just don't be a team? That's the whole. It's like I say on a lot of different occasions when we're talking about certain things. Are y'all people really looking for a marriage, or y'all just saying it just to say it? Because in the marriage, it's supposed to be a team. It's not about one person spending all their money and the other person pocketing all theirs. It's not about one person having dominance over the entire house and the other person just shutting up and being, basically like a child. No, it's supposed to be where both people contribute financially, where both people contribute with the love, where both people contribute with the cleaning, the cooking, the raising of the kids. Both people, and even with decision making, whether you want to say the woman runs the house or whether you want to say the man runs the house. Fuck all that. Why it can't be that both of y'all can come together and make decisions of what's best for the household? Why can't both of y'all be leaders? Why does it have to be only the woman is the leader, period? Only the man is the leader, period. Why can't both of y'all come together and find out solutions for the household together? Then it won't look like one person is above the other or one person is trying to put the other down. Both of you come to the table with ideas and ways to make the house, the family, the kids better. Then y'all both will be leaders. That's how I feel about it. You come out
And
the
I
dark.
want to say that, my bad, man. I had it on mute, so I ain't making all the notes while you was talking. But let me ask you this question, G, and correct me on the positions if I'm wrong. On a basketball team, you got five positions: point guard, small forward, shooting guard, power forward, and center. Right? Am I right?
That's right.
All right. For us winning and for us morale, which person on that team cannot do their job like they're supposed to, and they still gonna win and still have high morality?
PG.
Point guard. So if the point guard ain't doing his job, the whole team still gonna win all the time, and the team gonna have a high morality.
The
I'm
point
asking you a
guard is
question.
the point guard is the facilitator. He's running the offense. He's directing everybody, telling everybody where to go, where the spacing is at, where the floor is at, where the center's supposed to line up at, where the small forward is supposed to cut down the
But I'm but
lane.
I'm asking but I'm
You
asking you,
know,
say him for example, if he's not doing what he's supposed to do, are they gonna be winning games and still have high morality?
I think it comes down to everybody gonna have to be coming together as one as a team.
All right, cool. So you asked my question. No. So man, woman decide to have a relationship, black man, black woman. The black woman not doing her job, the black man doing everything, even part of her job, if not most of her job. Do you think it's gonna be a good relationship, or he gonna have
Nope.
resentment towards that sister? Let's
Right.
reverse it. Let's say it's the different, and it's the sister doing now everything, paying everything, taking care of the household at the same time. The man is not. Is they winning and having high morality?
Nope.
No. So I think the issue is, and I told you this before, throughout my relationships as an adult, my problem was always the competition part. And it's like,
Hmm.
why do you have to be right all the time? Why do you have to feel that you can lead when you want to instead of coming together as a team and figuring out who's going to lead on this situation? It has always been the opposite that, oh, well, I can do this when I feel like it with no communication. But women say they want men to communicate. And for me, I always try to communicate, but then it turns into, oh, you talking too much. Oh, you and your feelings too much. But it's like, okay, so if I go out here and start doing stupid shit, you're gonna be like, why didn't I talk? Why didn't I communicate? So what I'm saying this to y'all is the problem that we're having overall is we don't want to communicate things, and when we do, we don't communicate enough, or we don't want to do our roles and our positions. Like I'm hearing and seeing so many sisters online too on YouTube talking about, in a nutshell, they don't believe in gender roles. But what's so funny, all those sisters that are saying that, this fake woke, fake um, femies, whatever you want to call them, will say this bullshit. But I noticed the men that they're with, if they wasn't handling their responsibilities as men, they wouldn't be with them. Now, the sad part about it is men are still expected to handle their business, even though women are doing better, especially sisters are doing well. We probably the only race where the sisters basically out earning and out educated, outshining us. But we still expect for brothers to do the same thing every other race is doing, even though a lot of other races, if you look at the Hispanic race, whether the woman works more than the man or not, she still culturally gives that respect. And that's what we're missing in this country is our culture. The culture that we have right now is trying to do the best that we can. That's our culture here. And people might disagree with me, but I see Tariq Nasheed and certain other brothers say what they say about being foundational blacks, but at the same token, you got to think about it. That's not really a culture that's strong. It's a culture of, man, I'm just trying to maintain. I'm just holding on. That's our culture. Doing the best we can. I'm just doing the best I can. That's our culture. And the sad part about it is we're trying to hold on to that instead of trying to bring it up and do better than what we've been doing for all these centuries. So if you mean to tell me you think that's okay, then something may be wrong with you and you may need some therapy. If you think what we're doing is okay, male or female, it's not working. If you mean to tell me whatever we've been through, and we need more understanding too. When sisters talk and say what they say about brothers, because I didn't have this debate with sisters before. Oh, I don't want to hear nothing about no man talking about the white man and all that. You still got to do better. But then when I break down certain questions, they don't want to answer that and be truthful. Okay, I'll be like, okay, so you had a baby out of wedlock. Nobody told you on the women's side, even the father wasn't there. Your mother, aunties, grandmother didn't tell you, don't do that. Yeah, they told me not to do that. Okay, so how do you still blame the man for that? That was your decision to go out there, be fast, and have a child out of wedlock. But still, he could have still did. Hold on. In his situation, was he getting taught the way you was getting taught? Yeah. Okay. Cool. Okay. But he still didn't listen. You still didn't listen. So you did the same thing that he did. So guess what that means? That means you're 50-50 culpable of what you chose to do. Both of y'all still made the wrong decision. All right? Okay, so you as a woman, you take care of your responsibility for your child. He's not. I respect that. You right. As a man, he should be taking care of his responsibility. But bigger than that, as a parent, he should be taking care of his responsibility. But that does not mean you have time to wait around for him to get his shit together and do better. That's what we got to realize on the sister end. Just because that motherfucker ain't doing what he's supposed to be doing does not mean you got time to sit around and complain. If somebody brings it up, hey, nigga ain't doing what he's supposed to do. I'm not worried about him. I'm worried about my kids. On the brother side, you have a problem with sisters doing what they doing and being assholes and pushing us away. That's why H, with me and you when we talk all the time, and I said this on the show a few times when I made whether me and you had a show or I was doing a show by myself. I still have to take responsibility. And that's the problem with brothers on our end. When we say a sister ain't this, a sister ain't that, guess what that means? You should have been smarter when you was spreading your seed around here and giving it to any woman and bearing children and not doing what you should have been doing. So on my end, I take responsibility for that. I can be upset with my son's mother all I want. I blame her for certain things that makes no sense that she does that's keeping us separated as still being a unit because regardless if we in a relationship or not, we're still a unit because we have a child together. So we still have to deal with each other, God well. But at the end of the day, whatever I blame her for, don't mean shit. Reason being because I'm the one going through it. So if she do some shit that I don't like, it don't matter because I'm the one that feels that repercussion. I'm the one that's going through it because we still do have a society that men get away with certain things and women get away with certain things. The only problem is men put themselves in situations that they have to deal with more so than women. A woman can put herself in a situation that she knows she's wrong, but she's still gonna get coddled. She's still gonna get cared for. She's still gonna get like looked out for. That's just the way of the world. Now I can't expect for them to start shitting on women, especially not our sisters. But that means us as brothers, we gotta do better on our end. So either way you slice and dice it, women that feel whatever way they feel, you have to make better choices in what you do because even though you can get pregnant, put a man on child support instead of having an abortion or instead of not having unprotected sex, you can still get assistance. You still can get a roof put over your head. You still can get food stamps. You still can get WIC checks. A man, if we do something stupid, guess what? We're the one that's paying the child support. We're the one that still got to find a way to put a roof over our head. We're still the one that still got to man up and go out there and get it done every day, regardless of what we feel. So in that instance, for a woman, if she feels that she was done wrong, even though she still will get a house over her head, still get food, get assistance, then guess what that means? That means you still have to make better choices. Even though your situation is more protected than ours, then that means if you're still not happy, then you have to be careful about choices you make. Man, if we're upset that we get done a certain way when we have children out of wedlock, guess what that means? We have to make better fucking decisions and choices. Whether people want to hear this or not, sisters, I love y'all. If y'all mad at me, I'm sorry, but I gotta keep it G with you. That's what we do over here, opposite from the norm. We can go ahead and show love and be tough at the same time. So reality is for you sisters, and I love y'all, but y'all have to make better choices. And for our brothers, whether you think I'm caping for women for the few things I said for them, you better learn how to make better choices so you don't have to deal with this and come out your pockets. Because in case you realize or not, we in Florida, and in Florida, when you get put on child support, they can go all the way up to 66% of taking your earnings. And people think, no, they can't take that much. Yeah, they can. Yes, they can. So that means you left with 34% of your check every fucking week. So if you make $100 a week, they can take $66 and you only got $34, and that's
And then you got to
after
think about the
before
taxes.
taxes. I was just about to say
Right.
before taxes. That's before
Before
taxes.
taxes.
So that means when they take taxes, you instead of $100, you might have $80, $88, and
Mm,
then it's still gonna be
mm.
that same way. So 60%, 66% of that mean they still take $66, and you only got $22 left, dummy. So at the end of the day, the best thing for us is to be smarter in the choices we make. You don't have to be disrespectful. Now, on that one point, real quick, when they say regardless of what a woman is doing, you still show her respect. You still can show her respect. Really, meaning you can show her common courtesy. It doesn't mean you should still get with her. And that's something that I want to be honest and transparent about right now, right here and now on this show is even if I see a woman that I think is attractive, but she on some bullshit where I don't never been in a relationship with her, guess what else that means? Don't go lay down with her. Don't go having
Mm-hmm.
sex with her. Because if the sex is great, then that means I'm trying to compensate something for her. Meaning, okay, well, she's not good enough for me to be in a relationship with, but she's good enough for me to have sex with. And then we having sex constantly, and I get away from her. We having sex. We end up the condom breaks, or end up want to see how good it feel and want to go raw. Guess whose fault that is? That's mine. I knew she wasn't shit, but I still laid down with her. Look here,
Right.
like Pot said, got rid of so we need to take it back to the old OG day, penitentiary nigga days. Jack off. Think about her and jack off before you risk going inside her and having a child and then going through hell for the rest of your life or 18 years. That's what we need to start doing is thinking better and being smarter in what we do. Even if it takes some of that, not saying that's what it is, because I remember one of my homies tried to tell me in the Bible it says it's better to put your seed in the belly of a whore than to waste it. I, I'm sorry, but if that's the case, then we're gonna stick to the word.
I
Then that
don't
means
agree with it.
I don't either. But if that's what it said, if that's what the word said, then let's respect the word. Then that means guess what? Practice abstinence. Ain't nothing wrong with that. That's what to me is a high form of discipline when it comes to certain things, when it comes to how you spend money, when it comes to how you deal with women, when it comes to how you deal with whatever you do in your personal life, you learn discipline. So that means if You don't want to do that, then practice abstinence. Point blank, period. You got anything else you want to say on that, H, before we get up out of here?
Nah, I agree with every word that you said, and the making choices, like you said, sometimes it takes looking in the mirror. I mean, I've had to look in the mirror on many of the choices I've made. Some of the choices I've made are still looking me in the mirror to this day. Like you said, with the kid thing, uh, I don't want to say this in a way to offend nobody, but fortunately, you know, I only have one seed at the moment, and with that one seed, he was a blessing, and but there was a lot of things that went down during that time that were good and were not good, and I have to blame no one but myself because, as you said, I chose to make that choice to do what I did, and once it's done, because I don't, you can do whatever you want to. I'm not judging nobody. I'm a person that doesn't believe in the whole abortion thing. So it's like once it's done. And for me, there's no turning back. And you just have to look at yourself and the choices that you make. And that word abstinence that you use, it's to the point nowadays where people laugh if you bring up that word. But that's something that could definitely, if that had been done, it could have changed a lot of people's lives. And as you said, costed a lot of people money because it's funny until that money's been taken out of your check every 2 weeks or every week, whatever, when you get paid. And then you just like, damn, man, that one little mistake is costing me every time I get a paycheck, every single time. So it's not just that they taking out for taxes, they taking out for that woman that you cannot stand. You can't even stand the sight of her face, or you can't even stand to hear her voice being mentioned, and that money's going to her. And whether she's doing right with that money or wrong with that money, guess what? It's going to her, all because of choices. So I definitely believe everything you said was spot on, and we definitely, as men and women, we got to start making better choices so we won't have to look back and be filled with all this regret.
Mm. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. So, uh, but real quick, you said something good on that one. Another thing, real quick, is well, we gotta realize a lot of times, um, I think it's an ego thing. You know what I'm saying? Like we figure like, okay, well, I'm gonna, I'm going to act like I don't give a fuck. Like this is what I say all the time. When women say men get away with a lot of certain things, there's a lot of things women. I love y'all sisters, and I just want y'all to really hear me. A lot of things that we think or you think as women that men get away with, men really don't. It's just the not giving a fuck part. Men, a lot of time men do not give a fuck. And that's why it seems like they get it. Like with my situation with my son, just keeping it real. Say his mom think I get away with stuff, but it's like, no, I don't. I put myself in a position to not stress about it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that's the best thing to do. That's what we got to realize about man. We can't just throw everything away. You got to try your best to um, work on being a better person best as you can, and it takes time. Like Nip said, God rest his soul. It's a marathon. You know what I'm saying? It's not a race. It's a marathon. You take your time, and it's all within stride. So with me and my son, I love him dearly. He mad at me. You know what I'm saying? But it's all good. For the time that we don't speak now and don't see eye to eye, it does not mean I ever stop loving my son. It does not mean that I'm not stacking and putting things away from him, God willing. It just means we just not seeing eye to eye and talking at the best terms right now. But that's what I have to do as a brother. Because certain people, hey, well, he ain't here, fuck him. And I know people like that. But I still say that's not right. You still try to do the best you can for your seed. That's your responsibility. He's my responsibility, and And while I'm working, I see kids that remind me so much of my son. They look like my son. They shape like my son. They tall like my son, or same height or whatever. And and every time I see these kids, a lot of times they be really respectful, and they still remind me of my son. It's just he's going through that phase now, of being a little jerk, or being like the little punk phase. But I know he has respect. You know what I'm saying? So when I see these young brothers and I be respectful and nice to them, it just make me think about my little man. And regardless of what, that's me. That's my shadow. You know what I'm saying? So I still have to do the best that I can because it's so important. I didn't have my father around like that. You know what I'm saying? And I was, but I was fortunate to have, I had a few different godfathers. You know what I'm saying? And I've learned so much from them. And the few godfathers that I had, um, a couple of them are deceased now. One of them, love him dearly. Shout out to Bally. That's my pops. And we talk about a lot of things, and I learned a lot from him. But my other godfathers, they deceased. So a lot of people don't have a pops around, and that's the most important thing we gotta realize. Because some days I be feeling like, what does it matter to have a dad? But for me to have a brother that took me at like I was his child, that I can call and see how he doing. He talk to me, see how I'm doing. We just talk about stuff and life and everything, whether it's sports or whatever. Is a good feeling, and that's what we got to keep in mind. And what's so sad is for a lot of us as young brothers, we don't realize how important that is until we get a chance to experience it. So we're gonna go ahead, cut the show out now from this point. Dope show. Hopefully y'all enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. So about to get up out of here. But before we go, make sure you like, share, comment, and definitely make sure you subscribe. And Monday, God willing, I'm gonna be doing my Get Your Mind Right. Hopefully my boy
Right.
HD ain't too busy. I can have him on there because this
Yeah.
show is gonna be dope. I'm gonna be talking about the situation of us not having strong black figures, and even if we do have a strong black male figure, excuse me, he gets a lot of scrutiny and it's misunderstood. So this is your boy JTL right here.